Okay, I gotta turn off all the ACs. Hello, welcome back. It's me again. So today I want to continue my series about trying to make a feature film. I thought about making a video about the pitch deck, all I put into it, but I think there's a lot of websites that are much better than that than I am. I mean, as much as I love making pitch decks, I've had to do that a lot for commercials and clients and projects and stuff like that. What I was really excited about was making the sizzle reel and making the short film. And it's been almost 2 years since I've done the sizzle reel and almost 1 year since I've done the short film. But I'm going to talk about the sizzle reel first, and I'm going to see if I can break this into two parts. Sizzle reel part 1, short film part 2. And I kind of wanted to go through the different goals that I wanted to achieve with both pieces of works. I needed them to do very different things for me as I'm trying to garner interest in this feature film. So let's start with the sizzle reel first. The sizzle reel. So with the sizzle reel, I had a couple of goals in mind. One of those was to identify the most visually striking scenes in the feature and just shoot 2 or 3 seconds of those. And also to convey story moments, certain snapshots of what's going to happen in the story. Have the music, have the tone, have everything wrapped up together, and it be something that I can show people. And third is the ability to gain the confidence to go from commercial work into film work. That one's more personal to me. I wanted to show myself that I could do it. I wanted to show myself that it wasn't as scary or as daunting or as high of a mountain that I had to climb, because the truth is I had climbed that mountain several times. I've had 10 years of directing, and so for some reason I got it in my head that this was different, and I felt more confident coming out of this with the prep work that I had learned from 10 years of doing commercial work to bring it into the film industry. So those were my 3 goals. So once I identified all of the moments that I found were visually striking and pulled the story moments of our characters talking, our characters interacting, I needed to go to work. The first thing I had to do was sort of plan the day. I had a couple of friends that I had met over the last year that were interested in just playing a part here and there, and I needed them to just wear these clothes, do these things, be themselves, and I was going to do the rest. So that means that I had to have a very intense planning production schedule on my own. I didn't need to be alone, but I didn't have enough money to pay people what they were worth, so I took on a lot of hats for this. And when I looked back, I had a schedule of how that day was going to go. I had a cast that were on board, that I had communicated everything with. Here's the day, here's the time, please be there. I'll provide clothes, I'll provide food. She was my fiance at the time, but my wife now, fiance then, was around to just provide a lot of good momentum, a lot of good vibes, and it was exciting for everybody. We were here, we were changing clothes, we were moving around, we were going up and we were going down, we were riding bikes, we were hopping train styles, we were going to the World Trade Center, we were eating lunch. I had the time of my life going to all of these moments of the film that I had just written and seeing snippets of it happen and seeing it come to life, image by image. And when you're out there and you're doing stuff and you're improvising and you're being open to these things, and your material and your production schedule and your characters, there is like something that begins to happen when you're out there and you're filming, and it becomes more magical than you thought. I mean, it did for me. The people that I was working with brought so much more extra to the film. They leaned in a way that I hadn't really anticipated. At the end of it, I had to take a day's worth of shoots, several scenes, several moments, several different lighting concepts, and I had to see if in the edit it worked. Because in the end, it isn't enough to figure out what each shot needs, where the locations are, what the time is. All of that is not going to be useful if it doesn't work and it doesn't do what you want it to do in the sizzle. So that sizzle for me was meant to be exciting. It was meant to have a pace to it where it's slow, then it's fast, then it's slow, then it's fast. And I wanted it to have a song that wasn't necessarily what you'd expect from this kind of film, because I wanted to announce that this film was going to be so many different things. The audio and the visuals are going to lean into the story that the film is also trying to say. For me, I needed to make sure the sizzle did all of that. I needed to make sure I had an entire group of people locked in, ready to go, excited, pumped. I need to know what I had to do. And it was a lot of work. I mean, it was maybe 8 or 9 scenes. I mean, granted, we were there for 30 minutes each. They knew what we were going to do. We banged them out. On to the next one, because we were just trying to get small snippets. But once I saw what was happening on the monitor, I couldn't have been more excited for this feature. And I knew then and there that it was going to work. And I knew that it was going to be my favorite thing I've ever done. So we're going to leave it there for now. Please stick around for part 2, maybe next week. I'll try to make this next week. Part 2 of trying to make a feature film. I think this is part 4, part 1. But stick around and I'll talk about the goals I had and how it went down with making this short, which was fun and gave me even more confidence. So lock in, subscribe, let's have some fun, let's make some movies, let's talk about movies. Should I get a Patreon? No, not yet.